Hello, ma'am. How are you doing today? This video is for you to watch now or later. All this information, it might be a little much right now, but all of it will be pertinent one day. So what we talked about today was how to find middle C, which means when I could play 3 black notes and then 2 black notes, whenever I go down a half step or a minor second from this last black note, that's where my C is. So if I went to these 2 notes, that's my C. That's my C. Really low down here, C1, C2, C3, middle C. Or C4, middle C, C5, C6, C7, and oh my gosh, C8, if you could believe it. That's really high up that way. So these notes are the treble notes, and these notes are the bass notes, because they're low. And these notes are high, because they're treble, really high. So right in the middle, that's the reason why we call this middle C. So what we were talking about was to play that middle C with any fingers you want, but the most comfortable one is our thumb. The one finger. C, D, E, F, G. When I play C to G, that is called a fifth. I have 2 notes, C and G. When I have one note, that's called a note, N-O-T-E. When I play 2 notes, that's called a harmony. And when I play 3 notes, that's called a triad. When I use my 1, 3, and 5 finger, I get a major triad. In the key of C major, when I go up and over, I get a minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Hear how that one's different than the others? And then that resolves to major again. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Today, you play your first C major scale. The thumb plays the C, the pointer plays the D, the third finger plays the E, and then we take our thumb and we go under to play the F, and then we've got the right amount of fingers to play the rest of the C major scale. C, D, E, under, F, G, A, B, C. When we go down, it's the same thing. We have 5 fingers, so we go down with them. C, B, A, G, F, and then that same middle finger is going to go to that next note, and then we're going to cross over, leaving the right amount of fingers to complete the scale. C, D, E, under, F, G, A, B, C, C, B, A, G, F, over, E, D, C. You did a wonderful job today. I'm so proud of you. Today, when we were counting out measures, we found that when we have all 5 lines of the treble clef, we have a certain amount of notes that are on these lines. F line, D line, B line, G line, and E line. Now we know that the treble clef is in the key of G, because this is the G line. So when we've got this leisure line with a note on it, we've got a C note. The note in the space is going to be a D note, and then the note on the line is going to be an E note. When we skip the F note and put a G note here, we now know that we've got 3 notes. When I tie those notes together, I've got a C note, an E note, and a G note. That looks like a C major triad to me. 1 note, 2 note, 3 note. C, D, E, F, G. C, E, G. So by this, you know that this note right here is a quarter triad, which gets 1 beat. if I wanted to complete this measure and I had a little more room, if I have a C major triad consisting of one beat, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, C major. If I were to take this and put a note here, here, and here, that would be a D note, an F note, and I'll make it an F sharp just to keep major. And then, or actually no, we'll do it minor because you're amazing. D, F, and A, and then we've got E, G, and B. We've got F, A, and C. So since I've got all three of these are now 4 sets of chords. These are all quarter notes. So what we learned to do today is how to fill up a measure of 4/4, meaning there are 4 notes per measure, and the quarter note gets the beat, inside of here. And just as the little recap, the reason why is we know that this is a whole note. A whole note has 4 beats. When we put a staff on it, that whole note becomes a half note. Half of that is 2 beats, meaning instead of counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is a whole note, we could put 2 half notes in the space of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, or count 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. But the beat is definitely doubled. When we take this note and we fill it in, our half note just became a quarter note, meaning it's no longer worth just those 2 beats. It's actually worth 1 beat now. There are 4 quarter notes inside of a whole note, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4 can fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 quarters inside that whole note. When I put a quaver off to the side of this quarter note, the quarter note becomes something called an eighth note. This thing right here is called a quaver. When I put 2 of them, it becomes a 16th. So one of them is an eighth note, and the next is a 16th. All this means is when you're playing a whole note, 1, 2, 3, 4. A half note is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. A quarter note is 1, 2, 3, 4. An eighth note is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a 16th note with the 2 quavers is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. See how fast that was? So I would like to congratulate you today because what you did was you showed me that you know what a whole note is. You know what a half note is. You know what a quarter note is. You know what an eighth note is. Oops. And you know what a 16th note is. So that's a lot of amazing counting we did today. I really hope you had fun today. I really enjoyed seeing you. If you could this week, maybe try and count some of these out. A great way to count them out would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, whole note, 2, 3, 4, whole note, 2, 3, 4, half 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 note, 2, 3, 4, quarter note, quarter note, quarter note, quarter note, quarter, 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 quarter. These are quarter notes. Quarter, quarters, quarters, quarters. Eighth note, eighth note, eighth note, eighth note, eighth note, eighth note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And here's the hard one, 16th notes. 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2E and a, ooh, those make you tired, don't they?
Anywho, it was wonderful seeing you this week, Olivia. I will see you next week. Aloha.